Hey, it's Mike from the Run Testers, and this is our review of the Asics Magic Speed. So before getting into that testing, let's get into those key stats for the Magic Speed. We'll start with the pricing, with the Magic Speed coming in at £145 in the UK and $150 in the US. That puts it around shoes like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 and the Hoka Oni Rocket X. The women's shoe weighs in at 187 grams and the men's around 230 grams, so it's not quite as light as the Metaspeed Sky. They've got a 5mm drop like the Metaspeed Sky though, with 29mm stack height in the forefoot and 34mm stack height at the heel. They use EVA-based flight foam blast cushioning in the midsole and features a half-length carbon plate that, combined with the curved sole design, is designed to deliver that forward propulsion feeling. On the outsole, Asics uses two types of rubber to deliver strong abrasion resistance and offers strong traction for both wet and dry roads. Asics says this is a shoe that's made for racing and lacing up for those training runs. So fit for me actually was pretty good. This is a UK size A, and you know, I have quite a narrow foot, and I definitely think the profile of the shoe is quite narrow. So if you've got wider feet, I think, you know, maybe survey your kind of size options there. You may want to look at kind of going up a size, but ultimately I think you're still going to get quite a narrow kind of fitting shoe. It's really nice and light. I really like that about it. You do get a kind of nice snug, very locked down fit with these kind of laces. I think you're going to get a secure fit. This tongue is nice and kind of thin, and that will kind of sit quite nicely on top of your foot. In terms of the heel collar, there's not a lot of material going around here, which, you know, might worry some people and kind of something I was concerned about. But if you look inside, Asics has put this kind of cushioning inside, or padding really, that kind of gives you that kind of a little bit more kind of stability and a little bit more protection at the back. And I never really had any kind of rubbing or really horrible kind of friction against the back of my ankle. So overall the fit has been really good for me, but I will say it's a narrow fitting shoe, so that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so for my run test, essentially I have done well over 50k in these now. So obviously that's including the 10k test that I did, that we covered in the first video. I've done a few long runs with these. I've done some kind of track sessions. I think the overriding feeling in this shoe is that it is built for running quick. I mean, the clue is in the name, essentially. They're called Magic Speed. These are about going quick, and that's where I felt they were nicest. It's definitely firm. You are going to get something firmer here in comparison to what you're going to get from the Metaspeed, and I think from other kind of speedy daily trainers around this price. But crucially, it does feel nice and responsive, especially when you're going at your kind of quickest pace. I found you get that nice quick snappy feel in it. Obviously you've got this half-length carbon fibre plate, and this curved silhouette I think really works really nicely to get you up on your toes and get you pushing forward. But I never felt it was kind of overly aggressive the way it did that. It definitely felt very stable still. It still felt, you know, very controlled. I never felt out of control in this shoe when I was kind of running at those quicker paces. The upper for me has been great as well. No real issues there. Really been comfortable. I love the fact how light it is, and there's very minimal material here. I was worried about the kind of protection at the back of this shoe, but ultimately that little bit of padding that you get kind of strategically placed at the back does kind of do its job when you're kind of running quick in this shoe. In terms of the grip, I mean, I liked it on the Meta Racer. I liked it on the Metaspeed Sky, and it's a similar story on the Magic Speed as well. I am getting, as you can probably notice, getting a little bit of kind of caught into it, but ultimately the grip has been great on kind of dry and wet surfaces. The only thing I would say is I took it slightly off-road, and then you kind of get a little bit more unstable, and you know, I would say really stick to kind of roads for running with this shoe, which is pretty much what it's designed for. So ultimately for me, the run test, what I would say overriding feeling is that it's great when you're running quick. It's responsive, snappy, but it still feels controlled and very stable shoe to run in. So surprisingly, yeah, even though you've got that little bit extra firmness and that cushioning, it's one that I think really works really nicely. So my verdict on the Asics Magic Speed is that overall it has been a very enjoyable shoe to run in. I definitely think, you know, it's best suited to kind of quicker running sessions. It's a speedy daily trainer, that's how I would probably define it. It's light, the upper is great, it has been great for me, looks great. The cushioning is a little bit firmer than what I would normally be used to, would like to be running in, but it's still responsive. You still get that nice snappy feel from the shoe as well, but it also feels very controlled and stable when you're running at those speeds as well, which maybe you don't always get on kind of those top end kind of performance shoes. So I think it's a good price in terms of what you get from this shoe. And if you're kind of looking at a kind of 1-2 with the Metaspeed, one that you're going to save for race day, and this one you're maybe going to use for maybe shorter distances and shorter training sessions, I think this is a really good shoe to look at based on my testing. So if we're thinking about alternatives to this shoe and kind of those other shoes that fit into kind of that speedy daily trainer kind of option, I would probably think about things like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. I'd also probably throw in the Hoka Oni Rocket X, and I would also think about the Puma Velocity Nitro as well, which is actually a bit cheaper than those kind of options as well. I think the biggest difference for me in those shoes and this shoe is obviously the cushioning is a little bit firmer here than it is on those other shoes. Maybe the upper is a little bit more accommodating for foot sizes, I think, than those other options as well. Also, I think crucially, those other shoes, particularly the Saucony and the Puma, are a bit more versatile in terms of the kind of paces that you can use them at. I still think with this shoe, it's very much about using it at speed, where I think with the Endorphin Speed 2 and the Velocity Nitro, you can go and take it out on those kind of easier kind of miles, where I think with this shoe, it doesn't quite lend itself to that. So if you're looking at alternatives to this, or you're looking for something with a little bit kind of a softer kind of cushioning and a softer ride, then those other options are worth considering. I think if you don't mind that, you like a little bit of a firmer ride on your running shoe, then I think the Asics is one to consider, and it's definitely one to consider mainly for your kind of speed and kind of quicker sessions. So you have it, that is our take on the Asics Magic Speed. Now, if you've got any questions about our testing, or if there's other shoes that you want to see it compared to, let us know in the comments. As always, like and subscribe, hit that little bell to find out about our latest videos, and yeah, we'll see you for the next Run Testers video.